Straight to our Showbiz review here. And this morning we're taking a look at my brother Kwame Dazi is in the building. Kwame, everything cool?
Everything cool.
You can't complain.
If you small code will catch me.
For real?
Oh, you can't hear that sound.
No, I know. You okay. You have that baritone voice, so it's I know, but baritone for now, because say baby free band. You know if you know. But it's all good. I mean, speedy recovery.
Thank you.
You've taken in some meds, right?
Yeah.
Then you go far.
You are very fine.
BBF.
And outside where you find here?
Oh, my side you find.
Obia
Unless it be you where you came in today with some form of yes. Take this one.
I've taken something already.
No, hit FM, man. If you enter.
Which one is this?
Take it, you'll be fine.
Fire Sika.
This morning, Uncle Rex is speaking, and we're about to dive into it. Uncle Rex is saying, Rex Omar. Yes, Uncle Rex, yeah. Uncle Rex is speaking, and he's talking about, unemployment and the fact that he believes that investment in the creative arts can help curb down unemployment in the country. Now, the article says renowned high life artist Rex Omar has urged government to invest in the creative arts sector to tackle unemployment in the country. Now, speaking to Graphic Showbiz, Rex Omar pointed out that there is a need for policies that empower creative talent both within the country and on the global stage. Now, he highlighted that the significant unemployment rates in the country and emphasized the importance of creating opportunities for the youth in various creative fields such as music, film, content creation, etc., etc. Now, he said that we need to establish a policy framework with a project that will harness our talent. Statistics show that almost 60% of our population is youthful, and that is a large portion of that's supposed to be a very, very large portion. Now, the story goes on to say that the large portion of our youth are involved in the creative industry, and that we already know. In a country with high unemployment rates, it is crucial that we intentionally create opportunities for these young people in fields like music, filmmaking, content creation, fashion, broadcasting, design, publishing, and advertising. Now, he stated this one. This morning, we're about to get onto the phone lines and have a conversation with Uncle Rex as he tells us more about the creative sector and its ability to curb unemployment. Hello, Uncle Rex.
Hello,
Uncle Rex. Good morning.
Good morning.
Everything cool, Uncle Rex. Uncle Rex, right?
We thank God.
You get swag, so if you speak everything, so. Uncle Rex, we just saw your publication on Graphic Showbiz, and you're talking about the unemployment rate and the fact that the government of the day needs to invest in the creative sector to help curb down these rates. Can you enlighten us a little bit about it?
Okay, thank you. And the whole system situation is, we all know that a little over 60% of the Ghanaian population fall under 40 years. So we will say they are youth. And then we also know the unemployment situation in this country. And if you look at the fact that the public enterprises and services, the government employment, I mean, how many people can government employ? So one of the best areas we should look at is the creative economy, which provides, even though it's an informal sector, but most of the people that work there are self-employed people, and then it's driven by private capital. So when, as a country, that we seek to give employment to the numerous youth that comes from the universities, those of them who just finished SSS and they are not able to continue, and those who don't even go to SS and just finish JHS and that's the end of their education. This is the sector that can cater for all these kind of people, because the jobs and the subsector gainful employment systems that falls within the creative economy is the best answer. But I believe that as a country, the government must be deliberate, must be intentional about how we'll be able to support, invest in this sector so as to be able to create the needed jobs we need for our youth. Because if you look at the subsectors, we're talking about fashion, and if you talk about fashion, we're talking about those who are creating fabrics, those who are doing tailoring, those who are marketing the clothing and all that, modeling. All these people falls under fashion, including even haircut people, those who are doing makeup artistry. It's a whole lot.
Yeah.
When you come to music too, the songwriters, the performers, the musicians, the whole lot, sound engineers, all these people. You come to even media, the camera people, the radio presenters, and all these people. You go to film industry, the same thing. So it is an area that, if we look at it critically, first, it will create a lot of jobs. Secondly, it will position the country in a positive light. Look, we sit here in Ghana. Sometimes a South African company will create a theater, and they travel all over the world. I mean, we've seen the kinds of Umoja and Sarafina, and they keep doing them. And sometimes they are traveling 50 people, 100 people, going all over the world. What they do, they promote their culture, and they bring the investment back to the country, and then market the country in a positive light. The same thing applies to music. You see, I mean, when you see other countries' music going around the globe, and it's not that business is being done behind it. There's a deliberate attempt to push it. So my advice was the fastest way, or what they would say, the low-hanging fruits that will help us to create jobs for our people is the creative economy. Okay. And when you support the creative economy, you are indirectly providing the raw material or the feedstock to tourism. Because if tourism was a factory, its feedstock is the creative economy. Because every country that they take good care of the creative economy, it reflects in tourism. Okay. And then I also know that this country, tourism, if we take good care of tourism and we don't pay lip service to it, and we really deliberately invest in tourism, tourism can become our number one earner. Not cocoa, not gold, not even our oil. So it is something that I think that's why I'm happy with the NDC new direction that President Mahama said he's going to make culture, art, and tourism like the golden age of culture, art, and tourism in his next government.
Yes.
So it is something that is very, very welcoming.
Before we touch on the NDC's campaign promises towards the creative sector, kindly run with me on this notion. I don't know if you've heard it before, but there's this thing that is hovering around the creative sector, and it boils down to value. The government or politicians don't really value people in the creative sector. I don't know if you've heard it before. Or by their action, you feel is one way or the other linked. What are your thoughts on some of these things?
Yeah, you're right. They have not really intentionally put value on it, because I think it stems from our culture, because they are yet to see it as business or a form of economic development or a serious aspect of our economy. Why? Because, I mean, in Ghana, when you are a musician, people take you like, you don't have anything in there. Even though your music will entertain them when they are sad, it will speak for them. When they are angry, it will speak for them. But you, the person who is creating all these things, nobody puts value on you. If a comedian is doing his music, they look at him. Somebody is watching the comedy. Oh, Akwawe, they were Jimmy Powell. Meanwhile, he's enjoying the comedy, but he's insulting you, say, well, Jimmy. So in his mind, you are not a serious person. So nobody must take you serious. And it applies to all aspects of somebody, an architect. You want to build a house. He goes and most of them will not even look for an architect. They will just go and say, oh, Master, plan now, plan now, and when architects go through paying to do even design for them, they don't see the value why they should pay him. So anything that has to do with creativity, this country looks down on it. And I wonder why we think we can continue like that. I mean, in the media,
how can this one be solved?
Media are not even paid. Let's just be honest and be truthful about it. A lot of the media people are struggling. They are not being paid. But the man will still wake up, the lady will still wake up and go to work because people naturally want to work. So across board, anything that has to do with the creative economy has been neglected by this country. And it is affecting us.
Uncle Rex.
2023, the creative economy globally grossed over 198 billion, almost 10% to global GDP. Why are we sleeping on this? So it's about time that as a country, if we really seriously mean to create jobs for the youth, as is been proven, that the creative economy creates jobs for the youth and women more than any sector, and is the most resilient. I mean, look at a country that has neglected the creative economy for such a long time, yet this economy still rings bells. So I keep saying that if you look at the amount of money we spend on football alone every year, if Ghana government spends half on the creative economy, it will shock you what can be done in this country.
Uncle Rex, a quick one. I know you to be staunch follower or a believer in the ideologies of the NDC. And like you said earlier on, former President Mahama has a good policy being put in place for the creative sector. Can you enlighten us a little bit about the golden age of creative economy and what it presents as a solution to some of the issues that we're facing right now?
Yeah, I mean, even though the manifesto is not out yet, recently President Mahama had an engagement with the executives of the various organizations and associations that falls within the creative economy. He had an engagement with their executives, and then he outlined some policy and sub-policies and models that in his next government he's going to put in when it comes to the creative economy. And then he combined culture, arts, and tourism as one. And he said he's declaring golden age of culture, arts, and tourism in his next government. And then he laid down over 22 sub-policies. That's what he says. One of them, he said he's going to ensure that in his next government, every year there will be a budgetary allocation to invest in the creative economy. He was also going to, as form of investment, he's going to ensure that, he is going to ensure that all the regional cultural centers will be rehabilitated for the creative people to have places to work. He's going to renovate the National Theatre. He's going to, when there's availability of money, the National Theatre in Accra, he will renovate it. But upon availability, he will do a new one, build a completely new one in Kumasi. The Marine Drive, which is supposed to be at the art center area, that there's a project there that he was going to. It started during his time. That has been neglected. He revived. There were so many things that over 22 of them that all falls within. There's going to be a film village that will be a one-stop shop that these days, content creation has become another goal. But we need to train our young people and get them the equipment. I mean, you look at right now, look at our television station. Most of the soap operas we are showing are foreign soap operas that we overdub our local languages on it. What is stopping us to get all the state-of-the-art equipment so that our film producers can go and rent cameras or whatever it is, and then do their films and then edit them so that we can supply or feed our own media houses and then export. There's a whole lot of stuff that he listed that I cannot enumerate all of them.
Yeah.
But to summarize the whole thing, it was clear that President Mahama has seen the light to now deliberately, intentionally invest in the creative economy as a way of creating jobs, because that is what his policy was talking about.
Okay, Uncle Rex, before we wrap up, it's been rumored that you've been tipped to hold a strong position in the creative arts sector if President Mahama or former President Mahama comes into power. How true is this, and how interested are you in this role?
I have not heard anything like that.
We have heard here, Uncle Rex.
Yeah, the whole situation is, I love this country, and then I went into politics because of this creative economy. I mean, I went into frontline politics, but I am not somebody who is campaigning for President Mahama because I want to post. I am a musician. I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, every musician and every entrepreneur wants a good government that creates the enabling environment for people's businesses to thrive. Because if the creative economy has been invested in and the systems are good, the environment is good for us, my record label can thrive, or there are so many businesses within the creative economy that everybody can do, you know. So I'm not somebody who is bent seeking for a political appointment. But that is not to say, as a citizen of this country and as a member of NDC, if my government comes to power and thinks that I have an ability to support or to serve in any capacity, of course, when that opportunity comes, we will do and also serve our country.
Okay.
But it's not a life and death situation that I'm campaigning for President Mahama because I want to post. I mean, that's not me. Okay.
Uncle Rex, thanks a lot for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, we just spoke to Rex Omar, seasoned legendary high life artist based right here in Ghana. He highlighted some story we will chance upon for graphic showbiz. In the studio, I have my man Robert Clark, PRO for Chathouse. Was everything cool?
I'm good.
You can't complain because you are looking fresh as
Oh
always.
yeah, as usual.
As usual.
Grace
More money.
has us. Yeah.
This one too. If the opportunity avails itself for you to use grace as if the opportunity avails itself for you to use grace.
Is your wife called Grace?
Every time grace.
But Grace Day.
Grace Day.
Yeah.
A day house or a day where?
They're everywhere.
A day everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's the essence of the Holy Spirit. I mean.
Preach on! Preach! Well, Kwame, a quick one on Uncle Rex's statement. You had.
Oh yeah. Uncle Rex.
Yes.
He's one of the people in the industry who has actually distinguished himself when it comes to the understanding of the creative economy. You know, he's learned over the years, practiced music, and also done a lot of things with regards to copyright and intellectual property. So Rex Omar knows his stuff when it comes to this industry. Listening to him, I have the sense that we have a lot of people who really know stuff in this industry. But the question is the implementation. You know, we have the ideas, we have the men.
You have the men.
We have the ideas. Yeah. But the implementation, why is it difficult for us to implement all these brilliant ideas when we assume power? Now, he mentioned that in 2023, the creative economy, the whole world, had $198 billion. Whole world.
Wow.
Then I kept wondering, how much did the Ghanaian creative economy make in the year under review? Do we have figures? We don't have data. Up till now, we don't have data of how much our creative and cultural industries contribute to our economy. Usually we get that for the tourism sector.
Yeah, I think.
Then I remember one time I asked former tourism minister Mohamed Awar if that figure also comprised of creative economy or the creative industry. He said no, it was
Just
basically tourism. So it means that we don't know, we don't have concrete figures of how much our creative industry contributes to our economy. He mentioned all the subfields of the creative economy: advertising, architecture, arts, and craft. When you go to the art center, you see all those people weaving, they are molding stuff. Some people are even creating chairs with canes and all that. These people are there. Most times we think of the creative economy just as music and film and sometimes dance. But it goes beyond that. Even the media is part of it. We, the media, radio, television. Sometimes you go for creative art events, some of them, which are meant for the mainstream people, and then they treat the media as so they say, oh, the media, don't ask questions now, give chance to the, and I'm like, but the media is part of the creative economy. We are part of it, except if you don't know that radio, television, creative writing is part of the creative economy.
Content creation. So we knowing this and having this at the back of our mind, then we know that we have a very big industry that has so many people, even in the absence of a scientific data. We know the areas that we cover, and this tells us that we have a lot of people here who work here and whose livelihoods depend on this economy. So we need to support the economy and invest. Now, investment is you putting money into a venture for profit. There is an end goal for profit. So you ask yourself, is the environment or this space viable enough for whoever is putting in the money to reap dividends? Yes, it is. Apart from that, apart from monetary investment, we also have our time being invested, other resources, human resource. We have people's ideas, policies. So if we talk about government, apart from the funding we always cry for, there is the bit of policy making. There is a whole cultural policy being made. One is in effect already, 2004. It was made in 2004. And I wonder how we even used that policy. For so long, how many years, the policy had been or has been in existence. And I don't even know if we can boldly say we've even used it for 5%. Because almost everything in that old policy that is being reviewed, if they were adhered to, I'm very sure would have made some difference in this industry. But no. So policy making is another thing, another form of investment. Talking about we coming together to bring or put together ideas, not just the ideas resting somewhere, but making sure the ideas are implemented. So you can go and have all the big meetings, all the workshops, like TGMA did. You can do all these things. If we don't live by the things that we say, we're not going to make any progress. So I agree with Rex Omar that yes, we need to invest in this creative industry. We talk about infrastructure, National Theatre, cultural centers. Yeah, I'll not even talk about that again. There is. I'll not. Why? No. We just spoke about it a few months ago. There are other things I want to talk about. Okay.
When you go to,
because I said that because of how you
not again. Maybe not again.
To brush it
maybe
aside.
I was so blunt about it. Not to say we won't talk about it again, but not today. Not today. But now, you know how South Africa is pushing its culture in Ghana and other countries.
Oh yes.
Amapiano.
Yes.
You know, during our December in GH, when we are busily promoting Ghanaian culture and music, all that, they're also right here in Ghana plugging their music in certain areas and quarters. You know, if a South African embassy has an interview right now with you, they will ask you to play Amapiano music before they do the interview.
I've heard about that.
If you are doing their LPM, you will put Amapiano as bed.
I've heard about that.
Okay, this is intentionality.
Yeah.
How are we using our cultural attaches in other countries to also promote our culture, our music, our food, our crafts in other countries? It's also a form of investment, right? Are we doing that? Recently, Abu Bakr Latif launched, he had a play at the conference center called The License. It's an adaptation of an Italian play, and this was done in collaboration with the Italian embassy in Ghana. So the play is originally a story by an Italian being adapted into the Ghanaian setting. One way or the other, they are selling their culture, their story to Ghanaians.
Yes.
How are we doing that in other countries? The same Abu Bakr Latif did something similar with the Spanish government. The French embassy is doing certain creative arts projects right here in Ghana, and it's not all for the benefits of our cause. Sometimes for them to also benefit in a way that may not be evident to us.
Yes.
They are pushing their culture.
Yes.
They are pushing their craft and the creative economy, one way or the other. So I believe that in as much as we need the money, Sikano, as in investment, there are other ways we can invest. We should also encourage the public-private partnership, PPP. Government can't do everything alone. There are individuals out there. We should let them know that the space is viable.
Yeah.
The industry, money day inside. So come and push your money for inside. So say,
You go get 'em.
You go get them. We should give them that confidence. But that will also stem from the government's, the kind of environment the government creates for the businesses in the creative industry to thrive. Not only about you funding the industry, but also creating an environment that will make the businesses thrive. Yeah. Maybe the same tax incentives we keep talking about, grants and all those things. Before I wrap up,
Even internet connectivity.
before I wrap up,
As a content creator, I get to say about it, but
I want to I want to move away a bit from the government to the individuals in the society.
Okay.
How we view the creative industry.
Shoot your shot today.
We also have a way we can invest in this industry. And the biggest way is to respect people in the creative industry. Not to see people who want to pursue art related courses as Omar Bon, So when you go
one child.
you go do and sometimes I blame the educational system, because the system is such that when you get a very good grade, go and do the sciences.
Yeah.
When you're poor grader, go and do the arts. But there are people who are very smart who need to be in the arts.
Yeah.
But the parents and the society would see him as, oh, you failed.
Yeah.
But you can't do the arts and succeed if you are not smart, if you're not intelligent.
Impossible.
Untiminye.
It's impossible.
Finally, the media. Sometimes the perception of the creative industry goes down to the media. You have media houses that have just small portions of their airtime for the creative industry. Small, like 1%.
Yeah.
If they are having a news bulletin, 1 hour news bulletin, the creative industry has 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just 5 minutes. Even the 5 minutes, one here, cattle.
Now to entertainment.
You understand what I'm talking about. And usually the entertainment that features on these small portions of,
Major news
airtime,
blocks.
they want to hear the very trivial stuff. How well are we using the media as well to help in this investment that we're talking about?
Yeah.
The media is very paramount. We are lucky we are on Hit FM having a whole morning show
To discuss
for
this,
creative economy, for the industry. How many media houses will dedicate their morning shows to do that? So this one will say, okay, props to Kwesi Chum for doing this for us. This is an entertainment station. Even with Joy FM, that is not an entertainment station. There are spots of entertainment on there. Even on Saturday, a whole 4-hour discussion.
Showbiz A to Z.
You get it. So I think other media houses should learn from this. We should respect the art. We should not treat the art as the other. Oh, yeah, be piano. You didn't. You don't buy a crossover. You don't buy a baby pioneer. You get it. I believe that if we are charging the government to invest in the creative economy, we as the people also have a role to play.
Thank you, Kwame. Rob,
Yeah, man.
can I call you Robsy? Robsy. Robert, your take on this one. You joined the conversation. I think you came in when Uncle Rex was on, right?
Oh yeah, I heard. I listened to the submissions. I mean, there are quite a number of things they mentioned, but I think one of the things that also stand out, which we need to call out almost immediately, is the image that people have about professions within the creative arts. Okay, I think this conversation, I have to broaden it. Well, the first one is the fact that I think when we speak about the creative economy, we need to understand the dynamics. There are 4 actors or 4 categories of actors within the creative economy.
Okay.
We have the creatives, and they form part of the raw materials. Then we have the businesses that run within the creative space. So, for example, Kwame Dazi rightly mentioned that the media is part. Imagine if there wasn't a business called multimedia. Then all the creatives within this huge organization, where would they be? So we are talking about that. You can talk about Charterhouse, you can talk about any of the, basically I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So that these are the businesses responsible. Then we have the professions who play in this particular space.
Okay.
But by saying the profession, I don't mean the creatives themselves. I mean the accountants that are responsible for running this particular place.
Yeah.
I mean the
lawyers.
marketers, I mean the sales folks, I mean all of these people play their role, the administrators and all of that. They are all within this particular space.
Yeah.
Then, so from the professions or the professionals, then you come to the support systems. So the support systems are things that are really outside our jurisdiction, but really required to ensure that the economy functions. So what policies are there that support what we are doing? What structures are in place? All of these things. So these are like 4 clear areas. Then you now ask yourself, what is the value chain like? That one has like 5 areas. We have the creation of whatever prototype it is that you want to put out there. Then you have the production. Then from the production, we have promotion. Then we have distribution. And then we have consumption. So you can produce your music. You can create whatever song, but you have to produce it.
Yes.
Then when you finish, you have to distribute it. That's why you have distribution platforms. Then you have to promote it. In promotion, you come to media platforms, you go here and there, stuff like that. And then it is consumed. You understand? And it's the same for people who are painting. They finish painting. Okay, then what? It's on a canvas. You have to find a way to promote it, distribute it, and then it's consumed. And that kind of process is there for each of the phases. So we need to be clear about this. And so you almost realize that for the value chain itself to be successful, when it comes to production, aside from the creatives itself, we are talking about the professionals who are supposed to play their role. Then we are talking about the business that is responsible for the production. And then we are now talking about whatever system is in place that allows that particular production thing to work. When you go to distribution, it's the same. When you go to, so for each of the value chain steps, you realize that all these 3 elements, including whatever has been done with respect to the creatives themselves, is supposed to be put together to ensure that the 4 legs are clearly standing. Otherwise, if you focus more on the creatives, you have a 4-legged, let's say, table, and you are focusing on one. Exactly.
Then,
So that's why you shouldn't have meetings about the creative economy and focus only on the creatives. You understand?
need to have all the players
Imagine
involved.
there's no Kwesichum, then you are discussing what the media personalities can do. Okay, take out Kwesichum. And leave
see,
them. Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? So have the discussion and make sure it is always balanced, so that everybody and the role they are supposed to play is clearly outlined and then it's played. So I think that the conversation about the creative economy, we need to be able to look at it holistically. Now, the other thing is about the definition. There's a statement by a physicist and mathematician. He's a British physicist. And he said that whatever you cannot define, you cannot improve. And if you are unable to improve it, it's disregarded.
Okay.
You don't define.
So you cannot improve.
You cannot improve.
Yeah. And if you cannot improve, it has to be
disregarded. I feel for me, it's a representation of what we are going through.
Okay.
We have an industry or an ecosystem that is so valuable, and yet because of our lack of right now, if we ask what is the creative economy, a lot of people will mention 2, 3 things, 4 things, because we still don't understand the entire space.
Yeah.
Because they are, if UNTAG, that's the UN Trade and Development. They have the definition clearly. 9 specific areas, and these 9 areas are so broad that in each one of them, the details you get is heavy. Okay. So they have me, like when it comes to the arts alone, they have the performing arts, literary arts, or you can call it publishing and print, and then they now have the visual arts. Under each one of these, you have the specifics. Then when you go to media, so the media, they have new media, they have traditional media, all is in that space. Then you go to design. In design, you have fashion, you have interior design, and all of that. It's in there. Then we have cultural sites, which falls under tourism sites and all of that. Then we have traditional culture expressions, which goes into the artifacts and all of those elements and your kentes and things that represent your culture. And then you can go ahead and talk about the creative services also that underpins it. So by the time you finish, if you discuss 9 broad areas, out of these areas, you can now get the specifics. So all the advertising and everything comes to
everybody there
inside. So when we say define it, and you are able to clearly say this is the creative economy, then you ask yourself, how well are we faring in this particular area?
Yes.
What are the schools that we have put in place to train people to say that if you pass through this particular career path, this is what you become at the end of the day, and these are the jobs available. Or we are enabling the following companies to be able to employ the following people, because we ourselves as government will not be able to employ everybody.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Or you come and say, okay, so I think what we need here is to be able to create tax incentives and
for
encourage
XYZ.
Good, because we know that X number of people are going to come out of school and we don't have any employment.
And even help to build a curriculum for
all of that. So in terms of the conversation, I think it has to be holistic. And the other thing I really want to touch on, which was the first thing, is the fact that when we talk about investment, for me, I'm asking more for attention. I'm asking for the reputation of each career within the space to be built, to be improved upon. So that when we say, oh, okay, I am an artist, there's some form of respect. You see, there's a scripture that says that there was an old man who sets a whole village free, and he is wise. But after that, he was disregarded. Why? Because he said the wisdom of the wise, something about you are wise and you are poor, so it's not regarded.
You are wise and poor,
so nobody.
How can you be wise and poor?
But there are people like that. So all I'm trying to say is that sometimes, if you don't have money, and you don't have fame, and you don't have power, whatever, even if the services you're providing is so important,
people don't regard it.
That's what I'm saying. So how do we elevate the game for the people within the arts? You understand? People at some point are respecting artists because they have fame. But when they are dying and they are poor, then everybody begins to look down on the profession. So how do you rectify that? Royalties is there. I've already mentioned that the support systems are things that we can't do for ourselves. So the government is supposed to put the law in place to ensure that the royalties system is fixed, that kind of stuff. So like those are the things we need to be able to clearly elevate it. You go to school, you finish dance, you go university, you finish dance, and then you're working in a bank. Why? Because if they ask, but where are you going to? Where are the job opportunities? Where are the options? So you go in there and then you finish and you have to go elsewhere. So immediately the question here is, why do you even go there in the first place? And so if people don't respect it, then that is then you have a reason why people are not respecting it. But we need to get to the point where everything is all the way intentional through to the very end, so that you start. We are clear that, this is where it's ending. This is what jobs are available for you. This is how you plug in. Then your parents will not even look down on you and say, hey, because I can't invest money in you, and then you say I'm going to do a course and I'm not sure how that's going to.
And there will be a list of people who have been successful in that field, live the life, because Growing up, our parents would tell us, "Oh, Koye Causeway," because they feel that there's somebody in the neighborhood who has successfully gone through the process or are respected in the community.
We used to see them, the lawyers and the doctors,
Yes.
etc. And we need to formalize the jobs within the creative arts. We need to formalize it because you see, Kwame Daisy works here. He's part of the creatives, but this particular part of the creative arts has been formalized. So there is pension contribution being done every month for him.
Yeah.
But the other sectors don't have it.
Yeah.
You understand? So we need to formalize it such a way that we secure people's future. Like, 60 years you retire, pension contributions have been made. So how do we formalize these things? Then, the respect for that particular profession already, begins to get augmented. He's paying, he's contributing to tax. Are we or the non-formalized, are they contributing to tax?
Yeah.
Because if you are able to do that, then you can holistically say, this is the contribution I'm getting from the creative arts as a government. Therefore, if I put X amount of money in and I have 5,000 people employed within the space of 3 years,
I'm supposed to get this.
That's it.
Yeah.
And this, I'm changing lives, I'm doing this, and the government is getting this back. That kind of stuff. So what I'm asking for attention. So that we can spend time on the creative arts and put all the several structures that are required in place so that at the end of the day, there'll be some real value that comes out of it. And I think it can be done if we are willing to, focus on it.
Thank you, Robert. Star 281 hash. My brother Adam Chotome is in the building, but Chotome. Adam, I beg, pick your phone up and let's do star 281 hash real quick. You know chop some before?
Not chop some. Me then
Waiting.
Star 281 hash. Today we are giving out 1,000 Ghana cedis to just one person. Oh, you go chop some.
In-house people no go chop.
Oh, ever far. Star 281 hash. Today we're giving out 1,000 Ghana cedis to just one person.
This thing, I say, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard.
No credit.
And there's no credit.
No credit.
So wisdom is better. So that's what I'm saying. So sometimes you go feel the wise, solid, solving the problem, but poverty day inside. The poverty will overshadow your wisdom.
If you say
people will not respect you.
If you say poverty, the pain. Poverty. Star 281 hash is the way to go. Adam,
Chairman.
your take on this one. I'm sure on your way you might have heard Uncle Rex on the phone with us.
Yeah, I've heard what he said, and that of my colleagues. I think they've really hammered on the need for investment. So I will go into another side of it. I'll look at the impact investment readiness. You understand? How ready are people in the sector? How have they positioned themselves to attract some of this investment? Because some of these investment, portfolios exist, but how well are you positioned to tap in as a creative? And that is why I'll look at some of these things. Sustainable business model. Those in the creative art, there are sometimes you meet some people, they have the idea, but how to convince you is even a problem. Like how to go about a sustainable business model. So if you're creative, you need to, have a certain business plan. Make sure that you sit with those who understand the ins and outs of these things to put things on paper for you so that there will be some clarity. Because if somebody is coming to put his money into you or your business, the person needs a certain, sustainable business model to be able to have that confidence to invest in you. Then we talk about scalability. Yes, you have a business, but how?
Ability to scalability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scalability. So,
Scalability.
As a creative, how are you going to, grow your audience? Get a larger audience so that maybe now you are doing this. What is your scalability plan that, okay, from now I have 10 people, but this is a measures I'm putting in place that when the investment come, I'm going to move from 10 to 100. Or 100 to 200. So you need to be able to give that sort of hope to the investor to know that, okay, this person has this level of scalability. So when I put money in DJ Slim, I know now he's reaching about 100 audience. However, he has a plan to reach about 1,500, 1,600. So if I put the money in him, there's going to be ROI. You understand? So return on investment, and that will give me the confidence to invest in you. Then we also come to ability to demonstrate a certain clear social impact. You know, if you are a business model and you are not able to, show a certain level of evaluation plan, how do this investor track? You understand? So, like if you come to multimedia, there is a certain level of, plan in place to demonstrate to whoever is coming to invest that this is our impact plan, that we can evaluate whatever we are doing for you to know the level of impact you are making in the lives of people and also in our life as a company. So we should be able to make all of these things clear. Then we have the impact measures, and these impact measures deals with your streams of revenue, expenses, and projected growth. So what is going to be your streams of revenue as a company or a coming up company? What are your expenses? Some people don't even, put like, if we are to call like 10 creatives right now, and you ask them of a certain expenditure or expenses document, they will not be able to tell you. They spend informally to the extent that they are not, the money going into the business, he cannot track the expenses he's even making.
That is for some.
Yes, some. That's why I said if we call like 10, some will be here and say, last minute 200 to fuel. 100 cedis fine here. Like, he will not be able to give you a clear expenses plan, like your business you have as a content creator. I'm sure you are tracking every expenses you make daily. So that by the end of the month, you know that, okay, this is my expenses chart. And this is the kind of, revenue streams I'm having. And based on that, you're able to have your projected goal. Because if you are making expenses, you know the streams of income. It will make it easier for you to, decide to target a certain audience. Because the targeting might also come with some level of investment or funding. So you should be able to make some of these things also clear. And we need to also have clear financial plan is very important for every company, because if you do not have a financial plan, it will be very difficult for people to invest in you. Like, you have a company, someone, okay, I want to invest in you. How much do you need? Which me trade 21 man the person has not even valued the kind of work he's doing to know that there's an amount of money I need to take me to the next level. So it's like how are we positioning ourselves?
No, I think this is a good conversation, because I've been in a situation before where a couple of young people will meet you and I need investors, and I ask, help me. I'm like, so how much do you need? So some of these things will bring this conversation to the forefront, and they'll get to understand that you just don't get up and call for investment. You need to have a clear-cut plan as to what you are going to use that investment for, and also the return on that investment. I like this one so much.
And finally, developing a compelling pitch. Pitching is something very, very important. The other time, myself and Papa Sadiq were at the University of Media, Arts and Communication, Unimark, where we went to... we were judges for a PR pitching they did. And they brought in companies to the school for the student to design PR campaigns to meet the needs of these companies. You understand? And when you see the kind of pitching the students are doing from school, you could tell that, these students know what they are doing. To the extent that some of the companies like Caveman and others said they love the pitch some of the students did, and they want to work with them. You understand? And a couple of companies also did the same, where they thought that the pitch was very good, that they can use it. So how have you developed a certain compelling pitch to be able to convince a business to come on board and be a partner to you? So we shouldn't just only call for investors, but I want to encourage us that we need to position ourselves so that we will be ready for the investment which we are calling for.
Solid.
I want to quickly add to that one.
Okay.
Because it's taking the angle from the investment angle with respect to being investments ready. I think that one of the basic rules that you find when it comes to anybody who is supposed to invest is for you to understand where your money is going to.
Yeah.
Like it's always been said to investors that, understand the space you're going into so you can maximize the benefit from it. My question to you is this: the people who have the money, do they understand what we do?
Our space.
You understand? How clear? Because you see, sometimes all they hear, sometimes people have said that, Charlie, we just hear noise. So we just see people fighting. Those are some of the things that they keep hearing. But you see, in as much as it is part of the ecosystem, we also need to be able to tout the portions that are important. And that is what Kwame Dazi was saying, that you have a whole program and then you have only like 5 minutes or 5% of the conversation focused on the arts. I watch programs like, breakfast meeting with agriculture on something business. Breakfast meeting with where are the meetings
with the
creatives or with the creative economy to discuss the business aspect of the economy, so that we can also invite or attract some investors, because if they don't understand it, then whatever is being presented to them unwillingly is what they are going to assume is the state, even though it could be some solid gold mine. You understand? So I think that we need to be able to start projecting the aspects, and that is the reason why you go Forbes has done an assessment, and the creative economy contributes X to this, so and so contributes. If you check some newspapers, you see some, the business angle of the economy. So I think that we need to be able to get to that point where we are bringing these elements to the fore, so people can appreciate it and therefore clearly see how they can put money into it. I think it's very, very important.
Well, before we wrap up, Uncle Rex was also on the phone line telling us. I asked him that it's been rumored that he's been tipped to hold a strong position. Yes, in the
rumor.
Yes, of course. We give you information, entertainment. Of course, rumors to day inside.
Yeah,
and you all heard what he said.
Oh yeah,
willing to serve.
He's willing
to serve. That opens the conversation up that if he is called upon to serve in the government, now he undoubtedly is one of our legends in the music business. As a former, if I use that word, I will get issue. But as a high life legend, he's seen it. He's been through the mill. He's seen everything.
How as a former musician?
Remember, I did not say that.
He's still very active.
I did not say that. No. Don't be diabolic.
He performs
Wait.
As a now it's a former Nambeka now. Unim de Nambeka.
No, but I'm just surprised. The way you speak, you put words into people's mouth as a host. If no one give you no, he can fight.
I did not say that.
Okay, yeah, you didn't say that.
Okay.
But then in his capacity, I mean, oh, Charlie.
Ube Juani.
Impressive.
I mean, that's also hosting.
Juani.
But you will come and show me A to Z.
If I come.
That agenda would do for that side.
I beg, we don't do agenda for them.
You see.
Make you do agenda for here, no.
You see. But I mean, he's been through it, and I mean, him saying that he's willing to serve, I mean, just opposing that to our very own. I mean, he's been through our system. He knows our system. Our very own Marco Krekumate also, been through our system. And respectively, in recent times, we've all seen some of the insults being hurled against him on social media and also media outlets. People are talking about our Honorable Marco Krekumate being, quote unquote, more like a white elephant in the MPP's,
Elephant's house.
I think that was a wrong word that I used.
No, but you said white elephant. So where else will he be if not in the house of elephants?
I think that was a wrong word. Yeah, but people are saying that he's not being effective. We had people had hopes of him being there. Somebody who's been through our system, knows the system properly, should have been more efficient in his role. Your quick take on this one. Do you believe we need one of us to be there?
Of course, we need one of us to be there. But I wouldn't want us to raise our expectations so high as we did for the other people.
You can mention the name.
Oh, there have been so many other, from Ablagomashi to Okreku Mante. Yeah, I just want to say.
But in all of them, the person that they are talking about the most is Mark Okreku Mante.
I think the
Just be
reason
honest.
I think the reason Mark has become topic for discussion is his advocacy and activism prior to he assuming position, because we all know Mark to be that guy who knows the industry. He was so passionate about the industry, and he proffered ideas what should be done to move the industry forward. Now, if he finds himself there, people are expecting to see him drive the action for us. Okay, I don't know what may have constricted his movement and what may have held him back from doing the things that we want to see being done. Some people say, when you get into political office, there is a bureaucracy. There are so many things that may cross your path. It's different from what you may think it is when you are not in there. So maybe these are his challenges, but I can't say because of that we shouldn't encourage any creative to get in there. So would we rather another person from outside get in than our own creative? Maybe, just maybe, if Mark had not been in this ministry, we wouldn't have even had 1% of whatever we have right now, the foundations they are laying. I'm not sure we can say totally the NPP hasn't done anything for the creative industry. I'm not sure we can say that now. Maybe we are not happy about the achievement, about the fulfillment of the promises, but we can't say that Omar as in zero, because development is a continuum. It is not an event. It's a process. They may have fashioned out some policies. NFA is issuing grants to people, filmmakers. They may have done certain things, as in passing bills into laws. These are things that may not be seen as great achievements because they don't come in tangible forms.
But the bill, has it been passed?
Oh, yes, it was passed in 2020. The Creative Arts Bill in 2020. Yes, so it's not an act, but we are left with an LI that will operationalize its usage.
The LI, they are finished with the work. They have to, when you're done with the LI, you have to go around to,
so it's not
educate the people. Now. But the problem now is finance, money to fund that activity, where they have to go around.
So in other ways, it is not operationalized. We know all that. We know the fact that yes, they have challenges in making sure it becomes operationalized. What I'm saying is that Okreku Mante may not be seen as that person who has achieved so much for the industry as of now, perhaps because we only judge the achievements by the tangible things that we see, but there are things that go on behind the scenes that are maybe paperwork, you can't see them. They are processes and all that. But because they are not out there for us to see, we may say, we're failing an answer on But as I said earlier on, development is a continuum, it's a process. It doesn't just come as an event. So yes, feel free to judge him, but it doesn't prevent any other person in the creative industry who wants to get into government and leadership to get in there. Would you rather somebody from energy sector becomes deputy or main minister of tourism, arts and culture than our own being there?
Anyway, Robert.
Yeah.
Your quick take on this one, then we will feel wrap up.
I think for me, you can't just say that somebody is a good fit or not. But once you have industry knowledge and you have influence within the space, it is a plus. It is an advantage because you walk into the space with a lot of understanding. However, for me, I think that just as any job position requires for you to be sexy, and when I say sexy, I'm saying S is an acronym for SEKCE. So S means that you must have the skill, E means you must have the experience, K means you must be knowledgeable within the space, then you're back to the C again, certification if necessary, and then you must have the ethics of that particular space. Now, if we put all of
that
these,
is sexy.
We don't like this one, we want the other one. Sorry.
It's up to you. However, when it comes to this particular space, you also need to understand influence. So I'm introducing the I in this conversation. There has to be influence in the sense that when you walk into this particular space and you're a deputy, you are under someone. You are not the person who's calling the shots.
Okay.
It is a ministry. You are serving under a boss. The boss has the master plan, and then you are supporting it.
Okay.
So you may be able to add to, but ultimately you are not the shot caller. So if the boss says, okay, nice idea, but you next 2 years, it means next 2 years you still have to obey. So I think that we should look for a situation where our people get to be in
The short call role.
exactly the driver's seat.
First year, no.
Yes, and then take charge.
On first year,
So at the end of the day, you can clearly say, oh, this person was the minister for X and failed.
Okay.
This person was the minister for X and
Delivered.
achieved this, because the person is the one who's calling the shots. The person is directly responsible for that particular ministry and therefore did X, Y, Z. So for me, it's more about you having the required skill set to be able to perform. And if anybody wants to be in that position, if you are not sexy, please try to be sexy now. And
For
we know
now.
and you know what sexy means.
We know.
Yes.
Adam, are you sexy?
We don't like this sexy.
Oh,
If you are sexy, there, me this steer now.
hey, but you're in guru still myself. Interesting. I think for me, it's all about competence. So you can even have somebody who is not from your place and still be very competent to the extent that you will feel the person is part of you and the person is satisfying your needs. And you can also have somebody from your space who will not have that. If you are not impacting wherever you work, if you are not impactful, it will be difficult for you to be used very well. So that can even affect how people see you. So for me, all I need is somebody who is competent and will be able to address the problems of the industry or be seen as solving the problem of the industry. I mean, that's all for me.
Okay.
And before I land, I would like to say a big up to Kwame Eugene. I mean, a guy on social media, Mojiga, did a song and it was saying that he needed a verse from him. And people were, tagging him among others. Master Gazi called Kwame, and Kwame decided to enter the studio.
Oh, okay.
with this
I've
song.
seen.
And they
I've
have
seen.
cooked a very nice song, and
Wow.
very shortly the song will be released. So, big ups to Kwame Eugene for amplifying
Bibia.
for amplifying this young guy. And I'm sure in the couple of days ahead of us, the song they've cooked will drop. Ghanaians should support this talent.
This is Hits.